brought out. Okay, social etiquette also, if you're invited to a meal, would it be, yeah, the way you dress? Well, yeah, that's good too, because I'm invited to a lot of things. So I'll say, well, is it casual? Is it formal? Or like, are we just watching a movie so I can wear jeans or something, right? So that's important too, because if I came in there with like my really dressy clothes and all my friends or people I don't know was in jeans, do you think I'd be embarrassed? Right.
Totally.
Right. So my sister was always like that. She used to drive me nuts. She used to call me up and say, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? It doesn't matter what I'm wearing. We're just going, you know what I mean? But she wanted us to kind of look alike, right, with our husbands, right?
I was talking to my sister this morning, and she's going out to a lunch with a friend of hers that she used to work with 20 years ago.
Right.
And she says she's having trouble figuring out what to wear. And I'm like, well, you just bought pants. That, you know, her thing is black. And I'm like,
Don't you talk about my color.
That's pretty much what she wears anyway. So I said,
Right.
I just bought black pants. She goes, yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I said, well, just pick a top to go with it. And she says, yeah, but then I have to decide what shoes to wear. I'm like, that is not a problem for me. I always wear sneakers unless it's a wedding or a funeral.
Right.
And she said, well, you know me. I have to go with the shoes and then all the accessories and all of that.
So she was really going on and on and
Yeah.
on. So politely, knowing Virginia, she listened,
Yeah.
right? So she was kind of gracious, right? Instead of saying, please knock it off, okay? All right? And you're telling me your whole outfit, like do you see what I mean? Liz?
Also, when you are invited to a dinner or a party, it's usually it's common courtesy to bring a dish or something with you.
Yes. Yes, it is, right? And if you don't bring a dish, what can you bring for social etiquette?
Candy,
You could bring candy.
small gifts.
Dessert or, yeah.
Okay.
Wine?
Oh, I like this over here, a little wine.
I would say a bottle of wine
A
or
bottle of wine. Does it have to be expensive?
no,
No.
No. No.
a tray of cookies or something like that.
Very, very good, right? And do you think that host or hostess would remember you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or that person?
Mhm.
So I think we're getting somewhere here with the class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going into more social etiquette of what to say, all right? So here's something, part of social etiquette. This is hard for people to say. What are the two words? It's very hard to say to a person.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Some people just can't say it.
Can't say it, right? Because they think that they're in the right. Okay? How about a slip of the tongue? What do you say to a person? You know, once it comes out, you can't take it back. Right? I don't care if you're all here in a family arrangement, you have relatives, a roommate, a mate, you're married, right? Those words count a lot. And a slip of the tongue,
Can be hurtful.
huh?
A slip of the tongue can be hurtful.
Why would it be hurtful?
Hurtful.
Oh, hurtful, I couldn't hear up here.
Hurtful.
Right, it could be hurtful, right? So if you, now, we're all imperfect, right? Is anybody perfect here?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm bad Tim isn't around. Okay.
There's only one perfect being and he doesn't walk on this earth.
Right, that's right. So nobody is perfect, right?
Right.
You know what happens to me? Now, I know you might not believe this, but sometimes you might have a slip of the tongue. If my blood pressure goes up, or my sugar drops, or I'm hungry, or I'm tired, right? Or where I am is too long, right?
Sometimes well, a slip of the tongue is different than needing to vent, but it's
Right, right. And you don't know why that person kind of said it. I mean, you do know, but you don't. Now, if that person said it over and over to you, you might have to talk to that person
Right.
and say, well, what's the point? You know, like you know, you would have to, you know, bear fault with him, like personally, right? Like
Mhm.
why he would, you know, right? Okay. So I'm sorry, thank you, and here's a word I don't think I covered, all right? It's a one word and starts with a P. What would that be?
Please.
What?
Please.
Please. Why is please so important in front of a sentence that you're going to say?
Because you're gonna want to come off as too forceful.
That's true. That's true. Why else is please important?
So someone doesn't think you're ordering them to do it, to do something for you, or?
Right? Right?
It just, in a way, it shows appreciation, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, please could get you places in this world, okay? We have to deal with people every day, right? I'm sure all of you go food shopping. I'm sure that you go shopping. I'm sure that you have called people on the phone for customer service, right? Who's been in that situation?
Oh, yeah.
Is that stressful?
Yep.
Okay. Press 1.
Oh,
Press
I
2.
hate those problems.
Press 3. Press 4 for the directory.
Yeah, I'm ready to vet into, by the time they get around, I'm ready to vet into the.
Press
my
5. Press 6. Press 9. Press 10. Well, by the time you get to 10, you forgot what you're asking for. Right?
That's the whole point.
Right. So what do you do in that situation?
Take a deep breath, count to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just relax.
Well, we're going to get into that a little bit more, like on that, right? All right. So, well, let's get into that, right? I'm going to jump to that because there's others, right?
Sometimes in that situation, if you press 0, you will actually get a person.
Yeah.
But other.
It's a chance. You're taking a risk.
Right.
Right.
And if you don't, then they're gonna say, we don't recognize your thing, and they go back over it again.
Right, right,
Yeah, I would say usually there is, you can press like the star key to repeat them or something.
right, right. And if you get, oh, please forbid, if you get a live advisor, oh, please stay on the phone, right? So when you get a live advisor, you might have to, you're talking to someone on the cell phone or your phone at home for customer service. And the person on the other end who is a live advisor is actually rude. What do you do?
Ask for a supervisor.
That's right. Cut the whatever chase or whatever you call it.
Cut to the chase.
Cut the, and should you ask, how should you ask?
Politely.
Yes. They have to give you a supervisor. You don't have to answer to them why or what department. By now, you have scared them a little bit.
But you ask for their name and number.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're getting further on this, Virginia. That's true. That's true,
But
right?
if you've got a huge company, it's hard, say, if you call Verizon.
Mm-hmm.
You could be talking to somebody in Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
and you might get their name, but the next time you call, you might be talking to someone in Colorado. And John isn't gonna cut it, because there's a million Johns.
Well, how about
That's how you
talking,
get the idea.
Talking.
right,
That's true.
how about talking to someone, I just had a terrible experience with my new cell phone. How about, I go, where are you calling from?
Exactly.
She said India. I go, India, because they have,
They outsource.
yes, they do. There's a movie called that. It's called Hang Up or something. There's a movie on it, right? So then you're thinking, I'm talking to someone in India. How am I going to get? So you have to, because of language barriers, you know, because we're diverse, the United States. Well, all over the world, they're diverse, right? So because of the language barrier, what would you have to do?
Speak courteously and slow so they understand what you're saying.
Yes. And you have to say to them, I nearly had a breakdown, but I didn't. You have to say to them, I'm sorry, could you speak up a little slower? I have a hard time understanding. I don't really get it. Or what, right? But you use the word please, or you graciously think in your head how to talk to this person, right?
You don't want to yell because it'll just make the situation worse.
Right, right. On one of my trainings or paper, it said, I thought it was interesting what was in the material that I learned. Even if you don't say anything, if you mutter or breathe a sigh, they know you're fed up. So they might just put you on hold another 20 minutes, right? Because these people are under stress too, that are helping you, right? So what if you're, like, just gave another example, like food shopping. I find food shopping very stressful because sometimes things are on sale and you get up to the register, what happens?
It's not on sale.
No.
Doesn't ring up the right price.
Right. So what do you do then? Do you shoot the cashier? What do you do?
Get the
You
manager.
tell them that the sign or the flyer, what it says.
That's right.
Or you can just get the manager.
Yeah, and that, Raymond, right?
Yes.
Oh, there's hope for Sandra, yeah. Raymond, how would you ask for the manager?
Can I please see the manager? So they understand my situation?
Isn't that beautiful? And that's something really beautiful that he said. Repeat that again, Raymond.
Can I please see the manager so he can understand my situation?
Yes, that's right. And by the way, Raymond's new at our class, so let's welcome him. Okay? All right. So, we could go on and on with this cell phone thing. That's stressing me out talking about it. Right? Okay. So, now we're going to talk about formal banquet or restaurant or going out to eat, right? Does anyone know what manners you should show going out to eat? I go out to eat a lot, believe it or not. Too much. I'm going to cut my social life. So who would have something to suggest about going out to eat? Do any of you go out to eat or you get takeout?
Eat out once in a while.
Once in a
Right.
while.
Once in a while? Who goes out a lot? Ooh, now we have the confessors here. Right? So, what would you say would be social etiquette? Florence?
Well, ask politely when you're asking a question,
Okay. Okay.
and you have to respect the person that you're talking to.
Right. Right. So who do you talk to in the restaurant?
Waiter or waitress?
Right. Right. Okay. So sometimes what could happen if you're real irritated with them? This is like a big,
Oh, I know that.
Joanne,
I know that one. They'll get even with you in the kitchen.
do you believe that?
Yes.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
Do
I
you-
was a waitress for 32 years. I know.
Now, here is a life example, right here, right? Another way, too, is that my friends were, oh, look at my friends, but leaving a tip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Raymond?
my father used to be like that, before he passed away. If he thought the service was horrible, he would tell them straight up. Like, he wouldn't give them a tip at all. He'd write something down saying the service was horrible, you're not getting anything. Because he was a cook. He knew how to cook very well. He was a chef.
Oh, so he was like, kind of like critiquing the meal?
Yes, he was very critical of stuff.
Critiquing it, okay, all right. Now, question, and it's a personal question you don't have to answer. Did your father go back to the same restaurant?
Huh?
Did he go back to the same restaurant? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Well, yeah, if the food was horrible, you wouldn't go back.
Okay, all right, because see, the danger is you go in there and you get nasty. I don't want to use the word nasty, but if you get rude, and I'm out a lot with my friends, would they say, here she comes?
Uh-huh.
She only left me $1.
Well, you should do better service next time.
She left me 50 cents. Now, Joanne has something to share.
I was a waitress for 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in top scale restaurants, the Latin Casino, that kind of place.
Oh, okay.
And I have a thing where I don't like bad service.
Mm-hmm.
So we were out one time, we had moved to West Virginia, we came up and friends of ours took us out to a diner in Cherry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of the waitress coming around to serve our table like you normally would, there was a divider between the booths. She knelt in that booth and handed the food over to me,
Oh, this is rude.
and I gave the food out.
Oh, my goodness.
So when we got ready to leave, our friends, like I said, treated us. He left an $11 tip.
Oh, wow.
So as I slid out of the booth, my husband kept saying, "Don't do it, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it." I picked up the tip. So when we went outside, I said to our friend, I said, "Here," and I handed him the money. He said, "Oh no, see, when you go out to eat, you tip the wait." I said, "You tip the waitress." "Yeah, I know that." And he said, "Well, that was the tip I left." I said, "Well, thank you." And I put the money in my pocket. My husband said, "Why did you do that?" I said, "Who handed you your food?" "You did." "Okay, who handed Bob his food?" "You did." "Who handed Gloria her food?" "You did." "Okay, I rest my case."
Now, that was something, right? So that is straight from Joanne, a husband and wife story. Right?
Actually, I was up in Massachusetts once,
Right.
and we went to a Chinese buffet,
Mm-hmm.
and a person I was with, I don't remember exactly what the whole story was, but
Mhm.
I think maybe the service was extremely poor.
Mm-hmm.
They got up without leaving a tip,
Mm-hmm.
and the waitress actually chased after them. "You didn't leave me a tip."
Oh, that's rude on her
Oh,
part.
that's
Oh,
rude.
well, that I would chase her back. in the
Well,
building.
basically, yeah, basically they went at it, but,
That's a rare, yeah.
that's like, a tip is supposed to be because
It's a gratuity.
You're
it's a
courteous.
gratuity, you appreciate what they did.
Right, right. And then, to finalize that and when, like with that, again,